everyone, Elizabeth here. The holidays are in full swing, which means I'm breaking out all of my favorite cookie recipes. Today we're making a Peppermint Mocha Latte cookie. My friends over at GoodCook are helping me out today. They've sent me one of their extra large non-stick baking sheets. This 21 by 15-inch pan fits perfectly into my oven, and I can make up to 24 cookies at a time. It's wonderful for appetizers around the holidays, and I just love using it. Let's get baking. Today's cookie recipe is so easy. We're not using any electric mixers or anything fancy, just one bowl and great ingredients. So in the recipe, I've got some flour, eggs, butter, sugar, simple cookie stuff, and then to jazz it up a little bit, we're gonna add in some espresso powder, cocoa powder, and then dip the cookies in a nice peppermint chocolate outer layer. So the first step to our batch of cookies is just to get all of our dry ingredients together. So I'm adding in my flour, my cocoa powder, baking soda, and a little bit of salt. So just give this a whisk. And then once you've whisked your dry ingredients, just go ahead and set this aside. We're keeping everything really easy and we're skipping the electric mixer. So going in, I've got some room temp unsalted butter. Just make sure your butter is at room temp and it will cream together really easily. And then going into the butter, we're gonna add some brown sugar and a little bit of white sugar. And with a little elbow grease, you're gonna cream this together until it's nice and fluffy. To our butter and sugar mixture, I'm just going to add in my 2 eggs, a little bit of vanilla extract, and that espresso powder so you get that nice latte flavor. So then just give this a big whisk. So we're gonna add in the flour mixture to our wet mixture in 2 increments, and just be sure to give it a good mix after each one. And then just add in that second half of flour. I can smell the cocoa powder and the espresso. I almost love the cookie dough as much as I love the cookies. Last thing going into our cookie dough is some chocolate chips. So the last thing we need to do is just scoop our cookie dough out. I love this GoodCook extra large baking sheet because I can make the entire batch of cookies on the same cookie sheet. So I've got all my cookie dough scooped out on my baking sheet, and we're just gonna bake these at 375 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to use my GoodCook spatula, and I love how flexible this is because I can get into tight spaces around my cookies, and they come off that cookie sheet so easily. So the last thing we're going to do is just dip half of our cookie into a nice chocolate peppermint mixture. So I've just taken a little bit of melted chocolate and I'm gonna add in some peppermint extract. Just give this a nice big whisk. And then you're just going to take your cookie and dip it right into the chocolate until about half of it's coated. And then you're gonna wanna put this right back on the cooling rack and let these dry until your chocolate has hardened a little bit. And take a little bit of crushed candy canes for a nice peppermint flavor. And then just let these cool totally completely and dry a little bit before you serve them. They're soft and so rich from all the chocolate. I love the hints of peppermint and espresso. It feels like I'm drinking a latte in a cookie. This is a great recipe for the holidays if you're going to a cookie swap party, or if you love to make homemade goods for neighbors, friends, and family. I think a homemade box of cookies like this is one of the nicest gifts you can give someone. For the full recipe, you can head over to goodcook.com. Thanks for baking with me and happy holidays.